Hello.
Okay, hi there, hello there. My name is Jarek.
My name's Simon.
Welcome to our bi-weekly AMA. We can ask some questions, and we can definitely going to provide some answers to. Let's hydrate a little bit. Okay, so what's on the agenda today? If you're having some questions, please keep them coming. We will move to a slides as always. So hello everybody, by the way. Shema, hello there. Howdy folks, hi there.
Hi there.
There's Starsight, anything for Starsight? I think I only got the old presentation, but it's ongoing. It's already been booked in our project list for the next year, so it is happening.
Finally.
Finally, yes, finally, that's the one.
We've been putting it off for quite some time.
Is there gonna be anything about the Invoker? I think I only have the the slides I had last week as well. So I can give you verbally some update about the Invoker, because we've been having like discussion internally. I think the first miniature will be is gonna go through the sculpting process now. So I should have like one of the first miniatures soon, one of the heroes.
Yeah, we just started, Andrew, so you're not missing out on anything.
Yeah, we just started. We're just seeing what's the questions from chat. Oh yes, I completely forgot to include a slide about this one. By the way, if you're gonna go, there is some discounts on our page. I think we say 20%, something like that. So
yeah, I think it depends on the product.
Depending on the
I think so, if I remember correctly.
Okay, have a look on the on archon-studio.com. Or even our Amazon. Amazon is also going through this Black Friday madness. But I've completely forgot about about that to have something on the slide. So what's today? Just gonna bring up those things we have planned. Hasn't changed much here. You can ask any questions about either of these projects. We are gonna be happy to answer them. We also have the questions from on Discord. We're gonna go through them just in a sec. Just a reminder, the Master of Orion at Astra starting on the 14th of January. Then we have Porthaven March, but this might move to April actually, because we have discussion this week about the ship itself, and we need to make sure that ship is actually done, like physically done. It needs to be in plastic form, and we might not be able to do that before the start of the campaign. Well, before the proper marketing of the campaign. So this means January, February. So we might be pushing this one to April, beginning of April, something like that. Starsight is unchanged, still stays as it is. Invoker as well is unchanged, stays where it is. Dishonored is unchanged. World of Tanks is changed, and Quake is moving to it is in 2026, beginning of 2026.
Yeah, we also have some questions from the Discord here. So here is 3. Will we get a review of the Conflux and Cove specialty cards like we got Stronghold? And can we get some of the major missing heroes like Seron and Kilgore in the future?
So the second part of the discussion in the future, I think there will be one more update with maybe some expansions in the future. So we will see. That's
not for this campaign though.
No, not for this campaign. By the way, not for this campaign. Is solidified in stone at the moment, and we're not going to be adding anything else.
I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah, yeah, no, nothing crazy, or even more crazy that we did in the past. So no, that's not going to happen. But in general, there's still potential to create more expansions in the future, maybe for retail, maybe for new campaign. We don't know yet. Still far away from even. Well, it's not far away from planning, but far away from making any calls and decisions. Answering your first part of the questions, we should be able to reveal materials soon.
Yeah, it'll probably come in the form of an update, so you can look forward to that. So I am Error on the Discord. Have you considered buying the domain chronicle-x.com and have a name a Chronicle X follow-up after it with Chronicle in small font on top and x.com bigger below it? Follow up from the question about a certain game in the last AMA.
Yeah, so if you haven't seen the last AMA, Chronicle X is definitely is back on the board. It is back on the book for 2026 because we have so much things. So for 2025, we wouldn't be able to squeeze it in any other project. But definitely, this game is back. Yeah, we have I have some ideas for expansions now. So and a little bit of revamping of the game itself in general. But yeah, but that's a good idea about the Chronicle. We had like ChronicleX.com. But not chronicle-x.com, which is sounds actually quite cool. I'll think about it.
I think the current name. What did you name the current project? Chronicle XD?
Yeah, the current one was actually Chronicle XD. Yeah.
Is that the final name, or?
It's not yet the final name. It was just like, okay, maybe we'll call it like that or something like that. But what else we can call it? Chronicle X2? No,
we can call it Chronicle X squared.
X squared, but XD sounds better.
Okay, well. So Valtan from the Discord, for the next AMA, about the star size ships, aren't they a little bit too big for a Corvette? Don't get me wrong, I love the designs and possibly for an easy customization with turrets and hardpoints, but if that's the smallest ship type, my table is not big enough for a dreadnought. Also, do you have some pictures of some other faction, just to see a glimpse of the aesthetics?
Let me just put the camera out quickly.
I said this last time as well, but I agree. I think it's a bit too big.
That's the corvettes. That's the size of the corvettes. Now, I was also under impression that it should be much smaller than we have it here at the moment. We had this discussion internally. It's nothing here you can see. It's not like final, right? This is just basically something we're currently working on. The more ships on the team's desks. Yeah, these corvettes comparing to anything else, they still seems to be much bigger than I anticipated, because that meant to be on the a 40mm base. So the 40mm base will be like this. So as you can see, it's still too big. So probably gonna go still through the scaling process, and before we're gonna call it out and finalize, is still a few few passes through with that one. So with the team. So don't worry about it. Don't yeah. This project is still for the second quarter, but in terms of adding more and showing you more for today, we already with Miha, we're starting second faction, and we should have something for the next summer.
Yeah, and again, these are just 3D prints. They're not going to be the final models.
Oh yeah, they're just 3D prints.
Final ones are going to be the higher quality. Leap and Guy on the Discord had a look through some old Amazon YouTube, and I haven't seen anything much about the demonic gates. Lots of belly of beasts and caves. So, any chance we can see how it's looking?
It will be revealed this week or next week latest. I think we have like time till 13th of the December to show you everything like physically on the plastic. So,
but we may extend the pledge manager if necessary, because we want to show everything off.
That's true. We got 2 more machines, by the way. Those 2 machines, we need them because there is I'm not gonna say too much, but there's a project basically that's gonna be soon announced, coming next year, pre-painted terrain. That's that.
Yeah, more pre-painted terrain.
Yeah,
how exciting!
More and more. Yeah, so we needed more machines, so we actually added 2 more machines, which just arrived this week, and we didn't have a chance to get them fully up and running yet because the setup process takes that long. You have to assemble the machine. You get it in a crate, in a pieces, so you have to put all the bolts together, connect the PC, all the software, everything basically.
Like an IKEA bed?
Almost like, but yeah, it's not that easy to actually get everything up and running quickly. So it takes about a week to set up everything, and then we have now engineer on site doing as well to just get all the colors correct and everything else, so we can actually start printing more terrain. Not printing, but you know, putting graphics on more plastic terrain. But that's only one thing what we needed for it. Yeah, I don't have a picture. I took a picture on my phone. I don't know why it disappeared, but I was going to show you, but well, next time.
Not sure on the Discord for Hom 3. Will the 2 naval expansion neoprene mats have different prints on their non-ship battlefield side? For example, ship/winter plus ship/desert, or maybe underground or cloverfield, etc. Instead of times 2 ship/winter. I really appreciate the snow variant, but permanently having 2 snow white mats covering the table looks a bit dull.
You had this discussion with the team.
I did, yeah.
What was the answer? What was the outcome?
Honestly, I'm not sure. I think we were generally in agreement. I definitely do agree as well that it should be changed. If we do change it, it'll probably be announced in an update. But yeah, I do have to clarify and confirm 100% if we're definitely going to be changing it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do definitely agree with you that it should probably undergo some changes.
You have some question
Yeah.
here you can answer?
Mitchell, hey, I have seen the video of the ship in Porthaven. Looks great, and I understand that there will be an option for pre-painted. Can't wait to see that. Yeah. Yeah, we also can't wait. Which is
it's gonna be. I think the ship is gonna be first project when we actually took all the principles how to pre-paint terrain into design process. Because most of the things it was always like, let's design it and then we will do pre-paint it, and then if something doesn't work we have to fix it. And yes, we had lots of fix. We need to put a lot of work into fixing tools and everything else actually to get it pre-painted done nicely. But this time around, everything about it is actually let's make the ship will be pre-painted. Let's even make sure the ship is actually done in this type of material. So this is a glowy material for the ghost ship.
Maybe not that vomit yellow color.
No, it's not, because the whole idea about this one is actually when you get a UV light, which I don't have on my desk at the moment because somebody nicked it.
Can we make it more green, maybe?
We can make it green. Yeah. It is actually glowing green. It is yellow. I mean, it's yellow, but once you actually put like UV light somewhere, source of UV light, it's actually glowing green. So yeah, greenish. But also we have to think about when we design the ship, when we design all the components on the tooling, they need to have a correct draft angle, because both materials, like normal plastic, the gray plastic and the other clear plastic, they works completely different. So we need to make sure the process for that tool is unified and making sure that both processes and both materials are going to be good to use. Yeah. So, and also pre-painted. We'll see how this one comes out. I'm also waiting for this one to see. It's definitely going to be something new, like entire pre-painted ship.
In plastic, no less.
In plastic.
So someone has a question about Invoker. Will the models from DNL and World of Dosler be playable? And the ones from Porthaven as well. I believe there are some plans for this?
Yes, some plans are for this one, especially the models, especially demons models, and especially models, I like even this one.
Yeah, water elemental.
The water elemental. I mean, this is one of the best models I have on my desk, but the whole idea about the invokers, and you may probably heard that one a few times already, invokers are mages. They can cast and raise and bring to the table invoke more demons, which they're gonna fight
creatures
along them, or creatures.
Yeah,
that's gonna be fight along them. So yeah, so this actually it's coming. This is from Woodhaven.
Yes, I believe it is.
Woodhaven, yeah. So
it's the water elemental, part of the stretch goals, I believe.
So you will find a definitely bestiary for many monsters in your even portfolio of miniatures, and also from us, that could be used, and you can use in the invoker itself.
Question about Orion. Have you seen the shelf side review? If so, what do you think about the feedback from it? For example, the issue with the two similar red colors and two similar buildings. Yeah, I think it's a very good review.
Yeah.
I've actually watched it a couple times now at this point. Definitely agree on some of the component issues.
So the buildings, I know we're gonna fix that one. That's for sure. We have to fix it. I had this concern at the beginning of the just on the beginning of the projects. Exactly, that was my feedback, saying that you need to know the game itself, video game itself, to actually understand the buildings and what they do. So that was my feedback, that something is missing on the top of the building, just informing, and that informing what exactly this building does. So that would change. That would be changed. That's for sure. The other feedback about the colors, yeah, this is still fully up. You have to bear in mind, he received a prototype, right? We know there was some things with the prototype. For instance, let me show you something. let me show you something. Something he mentioned during the prototype was this. Like, see that how the those things actually being connected now with. Do I have any pin to show you? Kind of this one. So he mentioned that actually they break off. That was correct because when we did the prototype, we haven't taken we haven't thought about this one. We thought it's gonna be working perfectly. So we needed to create a small lip here around it when actually that pin goes into that pin. It's not going nowhere. It's not gonna break at all. So as you can see it here, it's not gonna break it. Right? We can pull it up, get back in. So yeah, that's the big change we did for every single tool and every single full modification for that one. So as you can see, they go in, they go out, and they won't break. So that was the one thing which he mentioned about this one that actually had a, but maybe there was a little bit of fault on our side that we haven't explained to him that look, this is the prototype and those things will be changed. So I don't know why he mentioned them, but okay, if he mentioned maybe he hasn't. Maybe he didn't read the memo from us or something like that. But
I mean, it's still it's hard to rate a game when you only receive a prototype. I think he gave it a fair shot.
Yeah, but if I remember correctly, we already said if we're going to be shipping out the prototype, those things we have to let them know that look, guys, there's some things we know about this prototype which don't work correctly as they should, and we're gonna fix them, like those things with pins, right? So what's the point of mentioning if we mention them that's going to be fixed and it's going to be.
I can only hope he's going to do another review once he plays the game.
Yeah, that's one thing.
One thing, he gave us a pass for the Google Doc rulebook, which was good to hear. Yeah,
but anything else, we absolutely love any type of feedback because this is the only one way to make the game much better. So. And he raised good points about the color to red colors being quite similar, so that will be fixed. I mean, as you know, we make those miniatures in house, so we can do whatever we want to do with them. I mean, kind of color wise, so that's not the problem. And the buildings that need to be fixed. I don't like this one neither. This is where, something which was the team convinced me that wasn't required anything on the building itself, on the building tokens, only because. Well, you're gonna have this side thingy which you can just compare the buildings, but I think it doesn't work. It doesn't work the way I.
If all the buildings were in different colors, then I'd maybe see it, but they're not.
Yeah,
they're all in one sprue.
Yeah, so that will be fixed. Let's have a look when we have. Yeah, hold on one second. Let me clear that question.
Abstract from the Discord. Are you going to make bigger bases than 50 millimeters? I think there's a huge difference in size between, for example, a Chimera and an Aboleth, and they share the same base size. So I believe we're going with the D&D rules when it comes to base sizes for miniatures for DNL. To my knowledge, I think aren't both Chimeras and Aboleths both large? They should technically be on the same base, same size base. I think our I believe our Wyvern also should be on a large base instead of the huge one it's currently on.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly. But yes, if there's a creature that deserves a bigger base, then we will plan for that and give it a bigger base. But yeah, the rules for D&D are if it's a large creature, then it's a 50 millimeter base. He mentioned that this was a prototype, but it was a point of concern. Yep, agree. Will Orion be delivered on sprues? Yes, yes it will. But we have developed a new technology. This we just call it punch out or whatever. It allows you to just punch out the sprues, punch out all the parts on the sprues. So, for example, we have this sprue right here, and you can just very easily just slightly bend them, and you just take it out like that, no issues. Same with these as well. You can just slightly twist them and it just comes off like that. And you can just play with it. Obviously it has these pins as well. You use this, this is like a separate sprue for that. There's a separate sprue for the bases as well. But yeah, they come off really easily. Like, just like any other board game, when you open it, you have to... Yeah.
Showing. That's the new tech we actually developed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just explained it.
So, click.
Yep.
Click. Like
just like a punch board. Yeah,
exactly like a punch board. So you can basically, do like this, and you have the ship. right? So
Mhm.
oh, the camera is actually it's quite easy.
Mhm.
Yeah. Right. These are for the game which is called Master of Orion.
Which one?
I think he was asking for these ships, right?
Oh, the ships, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the ships are for Master of Orion. Thanksgiving to the US people. Happy Thursday and the rest to the rest of the world. Yeah.
Yeah.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
We don't celebrate it here, but you know, it's still a fun celebration for you guys. So we're happy for you.
The question about the Porthaven, if you want to answer.
Yeah, will Porthaven include modular terrain to allow building of a harbor/dockside area? Yes, that is actually one of the plans for one sprue like this, which is just really basic terrain, just like some like wooden boards and some stilts as well. That just use the regular DNL terrain system, and you can use that to just build a dockside area. But the vast majority of the campaign is otherwise just miniatures and props, or scatter terrain.
Yeah. Question about the Invoker.
Yeah,
about...
Invoker is our IP. So there's a need to write some stuff about it, so people can get to know the world.
Yes.
Are we planning
some stories and maybe some short stories?
Yeah, some lore
with the lore
reveals. Yeah.
Oh yeah. It is actually currently happening. It's on my shoulder at the moment to write up at least the core, and I actually wrote up the core. Scrap it, rewrote again. Scrap it, rewrote again, because that's me, and probably will have to at some point say is it good enough, but for me it's never good enough. But in general, that's what it is. And then yeah, we have a huge plans for Invoker, by the way. This is going to be our first IP. Not only that, I think we will gonna even do so far as the, you know, going for the comic book maybe in the future. Definitely novels. I'm looking now for the novels writers, but we need to establish the universe first. We need to make sure that what we have there, what we have as a core, as a basic, is actually enough interesting, and give us the options to grow more on it, right? There's always kind of limitation for the fantasy universe because it's always kind of locked in one let's call it planet. And you have to scale down the how to explain this one. Instead of going up, instead of going like showing the big universe, like planets and everything else like in sci-fi, you have to scale it back down just to the regions, and then show how interesting those regions are. So you make as separate regions as interested as you would make a massive universe, planets, whatsoever in sci-fi. So that's what it is, yeah.
You can make a big fantasy world, a very detailed one as well, with fantasy, but I think showing just like a portion of the iceberg is really what we're trying to aim for, I think.
Yep. We have to start with something. We have to start.
Yeah.
Well, we cannot actually explain and show everything. Basic needs to be there. So.
Basically, we can see the entire iceberg.
Yeah.
What we're going to be showing is just a portion,
Exactly.
and we can keep expanding from there.
Exactly. More questions?
Yeah. So from the Discord, would it be realistic to have multiple color schemes for the Prismacast sets in both the Pledge Manager and or later in retail? Usually we don't do this now. We've kind of stopped doing this, like DNL 3. We don't really do multiple color schemes anymore.
I think you mean pre-painted color schemes. For the Prismacast sets. So
I'm still asking for a normal grey World of Heroes.
Yeah. No, it's not. You know, the question is about the Prismacast. So only occasionally, I thought that we could create kind of different skin for the terrain, whether like a winter version of it or something like that. So occasionally, it's about having a number of stock. And the other problem we have, once you pre-paint the sprues, you only physically there's only one way to fix it. Like you don't like the color, is basically to overpaint again. We cannot. Like with normal plastic, cut it into small pieces and put back into a machine. because this with the paint already, it doesn't allow us to actually do that. We cannot do that, otherwise we're going to clog the machine, the injection machine. So yeah, so we have to be careful with that one, and that means we cannot have a huge stock of everything. But maybe occasionally we'll have like a limited number of differently painted terrain with some, you know, winter themes or whatever.
We can do like limited edition sets.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's like, about it.
Like then, well, it's Christmas soon. We can do like a we could do like a winter themed release
next year.
Okay,
next year, that's for sure. Because this year we got so much, and you know, from the second quarter of next year we have those big things available in retail as well.
Big things planned.
Yeah, and then gonna be another line of pre-painted terrain with Porthaven. So we have to make sure that we do all those things, and then once the capacity is left on the machines, we will do more. We also have to do one sci-fi terrain, by the way. I want to see this sci-fi terrain. I know there's.
Are we gonna do a spaceship? We need a spaceship.
We need a spaceship, you mean? Maybe spaceship.
I think spaceships are like pretty universal when it comes to sci-fi.
Yeah, we have this new large release of the miniatures for Starfinder. So yeah, see how it goes. I mean, we almost finished with Starfinder miniatures with that batch of 120 different miniatures releases, and then we had some talks with them. I know Martin is following up with them on what's next. So, and they were asking for a train specific for the Starfinder. So maybe Starship would be something.
Roth, any plans to add or include some Deus Lair races for any of the Porthaven NPCs? The Testudo and Slithers at least look like they could fit in the theme. I could see them in the stretch goals. Right now, the core sets are mostly planned out, but I could definitely see it for the stretch goals.
Yeah,
for sure.
Jarek Shimon, Heroes 3. Besides the new card-based ship battle boards and associated rules, what does the expansion provide? Not really clear.
You know what? If you're referring to the Naval Battles expansion, it really is kind of a mishmash of different game mechanics. I believe there are some locations as well in there, some unique ones. I don't exactly remember, but yeah, definitely the.
It's not explained in the. It's not.
Yeah, there is actually an update where. The entire expansion was explained, so I do recommend going over to our GameFound website. I believe it was there should be an update. It's just called Naval Battles Explained, and the update just goes over like all the stuff in the expansion, all the different mechanics that it adds. Because the Naval Battles actually aren't the biggest addition in this expansion. It's not even like half of what's in there, to be honest. There's a lot of different other stuff that should be really cool for you guys to include in your games.
Yep.
Yacht HDK, will you provide a physical copy of the introductory scenario to all new backers? Lots of people asking for this.
Yeah.
Are we?
The copy of introductory scenarios. This is the one which is gonna be available for all new backers. We make a decision about this one. That yes.
Okay, well, I mean, it's my first time hearing about this.
Okay.
Not like all new backers, but like I meant for all pledges. Then yes.
Yes, all new.
All pledges.
All new. They need to have this one. Yes. So it's gonna be in a cool game. That's the one, because we need to add this one to the cool game, and then later when it comes to the retail. However, in the same time, we cannot left those guys from all new left out. So we need to add in some of the expansions. So it will be there.
When was this decided?
It's a booklet at the beginning of the project, by the way. So
okay, well,
yeah, when we decided to actually
I heard something very different. There has been a lot of people asking for this since the last update.
So it will be there.
Okay,
it will be there.
so
we cannot left you without it, because otherwise you will have to buy a core game again to get this one. So that doesn't make sense really. So yes, you're gonna get it.
Okay, well, there's your answer. My first time hearing this information.
That's good.
So
you learn as well from AMA.
Yeah.
This is what the AMA is for.
Interesting.
Okay, since Rampart was thought to be a 40k, have you considered making terrain for Marvel Crisis Protocol?
I don't think so. No,
I don't think so.
I don't think there's the demand for it as much. I think 40k is just so much more popular that making terrain for like a specific game like that, like Marvel Crisis Protocol, I'm not sure if it would be maybe as popular.
Yeah. So the right terrain line next year, it's definitely one which is the you will find mainly fantasy, because we have a the Heroes miniatures game, which will need a lot of terrain pieces. So that's one. Here is something new, because I'm working now on completely new process of injection. Well, normal process of injection, but actually make much bigger tools and much bigger sprues than we have currently. So that's that. And once we actually have this new process in place, you may expect us to actually provide you more terrain for the same dollar you pay at the moment the future campaigns. So that's actually good news. But we need to scale up the tooling, and we need to scale up the production, and we need to have much bigger tools than we have currently. So currently they are the size of the sprue, you know, the size of our sprues, but we're moving into more of A4 format size and bigger. So that will allow us to actually make a big chunks or big pieces of terrain in one piece. We won't have to, you know, divide like a ship. We have to divide in several different pieces in order to actually fit on a tool, on the tools. The new one won't require that one. The new process will be basically built around making large pieces of terrain. So this means even in 2026, I would say, when we go back to doing something with terrain, like Dungeons Lasers pure terrain campaign, we might have something completely new settings or new setups for you, like something like really fresh and really new engineering solutions. But about the terrain, really, we mainly would like to focus on fantasy at the moment. So fantasy. There is one project, sci-fi project, which required a lot of sci-fi terrain as well. We will see how this one goes. You know, the Invoker needs terrain, right? The Starsight needs terrain, which is like basically a space. What's the name?
Yeah, like
space debris and asteroids, yeah, and things like that. The Heroes battles needs terrain, so that's the other one. And there's one more sci-fi, which I don't know yet, because I should know next week what's going on with it. So yeah, if not,
maybe some terrain for Quake? Question mark?
No, not for Quake.
Oh, come on.
Quake, no. Board games don't really like terrains, because once you play, you want to sit down, and yeah. But yes, this is the Starship exterior. I think more interior for the Dungeon Lasers would be epic. I think the we do have like those sci-fi terrains. We haven't done with them nothing absolutely over the years, and I think pre-painting will give them a little bit of second life, let's say. Yeah, I think second life.
When will the Archon store for Amazon Canada finally get some stock other than the Rebellion and Wave 6 Horde?
It's everything everything is on Amazon. It's selling extremely well. You should be able to order from Amazon USA, because apparently Amazon USA sells like kind of globally, so you can go and buy it from Amazon USA. But entire product line is available there for Battleground, plus some terrain. But it's selling extremely well. We are extremely surprised. I mean, we triple or almost quadrupled the orders from Amazon this month alone, comparing to the previous month. So yeah, we initially didn't understand why Amazon needs so much stock, because Amazon we make like Amazon Prime, which means they use their own algorithm to tell us how much stock they actually need, and we're like come on, really, that much stock you needed? That doesn't make sense. But okay, let's do it. Let's ship them. We ship the stock, and all of a sudden it's just going down and stuff. I think it's at the moment it's almost 50% of stock gone. So yeah, I'm gonna have to restock the Amazon again just after the Christmas, or maybe even before the Christmas. We'll see. Okay, just quick mention about the Battleground. Please bear in mind that Pledge Manager ends on 29th of November.
That is tomorrow.
That is tomorrow. Tomorrow the pledge manager will be closed. We're shipping in January. The stock is being balled up now at the moment as we speak. The game is being assembled and everything else, so please expect your shipping in January.
Is that early, mid, or late January?
This is gonna be early January. We have to get this one ASAP in January. First week, second week, that needs to be out of the door because we're getting more parcels coming. The Heroes parcel coming to us. We have a caves to start assembling and shipping as well. Maybe in not January because of we cannot make so many projects at one go at one time. So we have to divide them in a shipping group. So the first shipping group is definitely Battleground, and that's it.
Yeah, I have seen some people wondering how we're able to do so many projects at the same time.
Easy. We have very, very good project managers. That's one thing. And, it's not many projects, by the way. It's really, well, yeah, maybe
Well,
I don't know. It's like...
For your average board game company, it seems like a lot. But, like, our company is structured very differently than a regular board game company.
Oh, yeah, much different. We have, like... people dedicated for each of the projects, and people who does the plastics don't do board games really anymore. So kind of we have like divided and conquer in terms of different avenues and of the business. So that's good. And yeah, I mean, I'm sometimes surprised myself about very surprised about this company, how well it's actually some things are going. So yeah, it's getting.
It seems like Kyle Ubin. It does seem like Canada, Amazon is out of stock, possibly. It seems like US Amazon still has some stock, but maybe Canada is out of stock.
I don't think we have ever stocked the Canadian Amazon. I don't think so. We did. Maybe if you have a look on the seller, maybe it's not us selling the product through Amazon there. Maybe there's somebody else.
It might just be someone else selling.
Yeah, somebody else through, not us, because we only specifically at the moment we only have Amazon USA. We have not been setting up anything in Canada. We will probably do at some point in the future, because we can see the potential in there, a huge potential in there. So maybe we'll have to anyway. Maybe not in Europe. In Europe, it's not that much it's not that popular, I think, Amazon. Well, yeah. But yeah.
It's definitely not as popular as, like, the US is a huge place and Amazon is already very, very popular there.
Yeah. Some more questions
for Hom3. Any chances of getting a small combat board with hexes just for the minis so we could save table space?
Those things are maybe in the future. Everything is maybe in the future. At the moment, everything you can see on the page that's it. We cannot actually do anything else. We cannot do anything else. We won't be adding anything else at the moment. We just have to make sure that we have product and then stock in place, and then we can think about the future. As you might recall, we will try to see how good we are in the live service. So we'll provide all free components and everything else for the next couple of years. So we will entertain you, but I'm not sure we're gonna be making any more like a additional physical product to buy. Yeah, so that's still not yet planned.
So Mitchell, like the cave sets of the beast and gory stuff, I'm really thinking of putting that into some sci-fi terrain, and then that's all I need for a Doom game.
Oh yeah, that will work.
Yeah,
that will work.
I'm telling you, the people yearn for terrain in these kinds of games.
It is, but it's not that many. You have to bear in mind that well, nowadays we have physically we can actually pre-paint this terrain, so it's much easier. You remember there was a game we were working on, which requires a plastic, and I remember that game was like, oh, we're gonna make plastic in different colors. We can make red, we can make blue, we can make gold even, and so on. But once you assemble, once you assemble that terrain for that game, was looking not very attractive. It was like looking just the pieces of plastic in different colors. Now the pre-painting actually allows us to do much more. We just have to first finish caves, move to the retail, move to the projects we have planned for, and then we'll see how much capacity we have. Because if we have a lot of capacity, we can go for
are we ever going to make that game?
I don't know yet. Not know yet. At the moment, as you see our plans for 2025.
Yeah.
You see what we have for 2026. Like
even 2027, but this
company used to make we used to make like 2 projects every year. Like big one. Yeah, we have only 2 big projects every year, and that's about it. We just basically run through that. last year was this year actually was the first year when we had like 3 big projects and 3 small projects. And all the small projects are the ones which goes to retail through different means and everything else. So it's still a huge commitment for the manufacturing, sales team, packing, graphical team, you know, the marketing team, everybody else. But next year it's 8. So we have 4 big projects and 4 small projects, and potentially another big one as well there, which if the big one comes through and it's going to be announced and it's going to be released next year, this means maybe 2 of the projects, between big one and small one, will be pushed for the 2026.
You think that really big one will be able to have enough time to make it?
Plenty time. We're
gonna make some time.
Our huge bottleneck always was the 3D sculpting. So this year we hired 3 more sculptors. At the moment our team of sculpting is 9 people now. So it's actually quite large team of sculptors. So you will see the difference even with the Porthaven, because we plan to have all the 3D sculpts for the Porthaven. And also we needed such a big team because we plan to do so much things into retail, like, you know, the heroes, which goes to retail, which requires a lot of miniatures, lots of terrain, everything else around it.
Yeah, we need all have stuff ready.
Yeah, Invoker
it's not a crowdfunding campaign.
Invoker will be probably crowdfunding. It is planned to be a crowdfunding campaign, because, you know, it's ours, so we can actually make sure we're gonna give you a good deal on that one. But Invoker, I want to actually be also like 100% done, if possible, right? So yeah. Yeah, that's true. We're going to hire 1 more. Okay.
Thank you for my legacy order of Battleground. Looking forward to putting everything together after my carpal tunnel surgery. Oh, I'm sad to hear that you have to go through surgery, but hoping the best.
Yeah.
Thanks again for the effort on the home campaign. Just joined now. Any news regarding the naval expansion fitting into the big box? Yeah, there shouldn't be any issues with it fitting into the big box. But again, if you're ordering the all-in pledge, as well as the naval battles expansion, it will still be shipped separately due to weight limitations. So even if there will be space for it, you will have to take the components out of the box and put them into the big box. They won't come already in the box, even if you purchase the expansion.
Okay. So small update on caves, because you remember we update the graphics just to show you everything, which is, you know, how the models looks, what's the optional assembly. So we have a goblins, we have a goblin king. I do have those miniatures here. I'll show you them. We have those funky goblins. I'm not 100% happy with the design of the goblins, because they're just like,
I think they're okay.
Okay-ish for the settings. For these settings we set up here.
I have heard some people say that they prefer these goblins over the ones we're showing in Porthaven. So
really,
yeah,
no way.
Yeah, no.
But you can see the full graphic here. Let me just switch the camera quickly. I'm show you what we can actually do with it. Mess, again a mess. That's not supposed to be here. So let's start with the Goblin King. Well, we call it Goblin King, right? So. Yep. That's the miniature assembled. Obviously, it's got 2 different variants. Assembled with his stash, the gold stash, and everything, you know, here. And the crown is optional. The weapon is also optional. So here we have, like, with my camera, why it's, yeah.
I see there's one person in chat saying that they're better than the ones in Porthaven.
No.
Yeah.
No way, my friend. So that's the goblins. How this bad? But in general, that's the goblins.
I don't think that's bad. Honestly, I think it's pretty good.
They look like a real, like, true scale, realistic proportions, realistic sculpting.
Yeah,
goblins.
The people.
This is what you would definitely find in caves. Like, you know, I go to caves and that's the goblins gonna be, you know, trying to chop you in the bits.
The people yearn for true scale.
Yep, maybe yes, maybe not. That's a nice chopper. Sorry for that. My hand is just, my coordination is not. My camera is upside down. That's why. Okay. And that's the sprue. I want to show you sprue as well. I hope you can hear me, because
look at all the people in chat saying they love it.
That's what you find in a spruce. So we have plenty bits. Everything here on the camera, everything on the screen here. Not that. Not that. That's me and my coordination. So all those things you can see, they're optional. You can assemble it in different way, in different variants. I don't have a spiders yet. I don't have a spider nest, this small one here. Neither do I don't have this big spider and a spider rider. Should have that one on next AMA because the tooling being done. I think there was some correction on the tooling to be done, so that's why I don't have it today. But I want to show you those things. Exactly, those goblins are based on the forgotten descriptions. Yes, more likely yes. More likely yes. But it's my own thingy. What are you saying? They are fantastic. Okay, they are fantastic. Okay, let's stay with that. So the modular rocks will be cool too, or easier for seaside or river.
Yeah. I'd need an example. But I mean, yeah, maybe.
So this is the second set.
Yeah, you got your skellies and imps.
I like the skellies. I really like the skellies, by the way. So they simple, they very nice looking skellies. Imps, I'm not a big fan of it. Again, I think they lack kind of dynamics, but we know that already because we have this discussion internally about it. I should be saying everything good about us, but I am totally honest with you. Yeah, but the skellies and that demon is spot on. That demon itself. I mean, imps, they do their work, by the way. They definitely, according to what you have seen it on the campaign, what you have seen it from us, what we actually, from the concept arts we've made, and so on, or make a call and decision about looking them that way. But I think they could be much more fantasy looking, in my personal opinion. I don't know how's your opinion about them. I don't have them physically yet. Why I don't have them physically? I think the tool was done.
In my honest opinion, I would like more options on assembly. Honestly,
Which for
the skeletons, for example.
the skeletons, all the yellow things are actually the
yeah, but I meant like
weapons.
Yeah, more similar to what Oathmark does. For some of their kits.
Right.
So where you can you can even choose to have a guy with just like an empty hand. Like have a lot of choice when it comes to assembly.
Yeah.
But I do understand that not everyone does like to have so much choice because sometimes it can be just a bit too much to decide what you want.
Yeah, yeah.
I
mean, the Skeletors are always difficult to sculpt, by the way, because it's a plastic injection. You need to make sure you have a thicknesses of plastic itself, right? So most of the cases, I mean, somebody mentioned they look like GW ones. Maybe like the new ones, definitely not like the old ones. If you remember the old ones, they were very thick. Like massively thick, and the reason for that one was basically the injection process required that one. We had like different versions of them, like initially I think from the previous campaign as well, and if you actually strip them with no clothing whatsoever, they start looking very odd because you need to make like quite thick ribs and everything else, and then instead of having like real proportions, you end up with something which is not realistic whatsoever. So that's one of the reasons why we have quite a lot of clothing on them, because we need to kind of hide those imperfections. We would have to, well, either we introduce imperfections into the sculpting and visual aspect of the model, or we introduce clothing. So that's what we did here on those skellies.
I do like the variety in the armor for the skeletons. So like here we have some chainmail, we have some ceramic plates, and some full plates as well.
And you can strip them. So once you strip them, they can actually quite nicely be used for even in the Porthaven. You can have them in Porthaven because, you know, who would seen these Skeletors on the ship being with armor? They cannot have armor whatsoever. But in general, that's what it is. Imps, imps are not quite sure which universe I would assign it, but they actually, yeah, small demons. Let's call them. But anyway, that demon is actually quite good. So we updated the graphic. I think you should be able to see that on the caves pledges. We will do with the last one as well. So yeah, that's for the caves.
And Orion. Oh, never mind.
Orion. If I can remove the shield and use different bits, and then imps are also cool. Also, I think yes. I think I don't know if you can see on the camera here, but I think mainly you can exchange the armor, the front armor, right? On
I think he means the.
I'm a little bit worried about those things. Those things be too small, too tiny, you know, to assemble. But I will see once I got a. They're not quite small models, by the way, miniatures. They still proportionally, you know, 25 to 30 millimeter tall models. I'm not talking about the scale. I'm talking about the size, physical size.
Yeah,
Ryan. You have seen that one, so I'm just gonna play again because why not? I love that video. Very nicely done. You're probably not gonna hear anything, but you can go and watch it again on the game found page. And for the Orion, I only have like one more faction of the sprue, which I've already been showing you a few minutes ago. It is not in color. Probably it's not gonna be yet in a final color. We have to decide it yet.
I think that's the correct color, no?
So it's gonna be in grey color.
I believe that's for the silicoids, or is it? Which faction is that for?
That is not silicoids.
Oh, okay.
That's Nolan.
Oh, my apologies then. Yeah,
that's Nolan.
Oh, yeah, the mercenaries. Yeah.
Yeah. So the Nolan. Yeah, we're really looking forward for this game to actually, because again, it's gonna be fully made in Poland. It's our first projects, and you know, longer we go into this decision, more I think it was a correct decision to make. So that's great. Yeah, we see how it goes anyway. But we have like 13,000 people who sign up already for the game. It's a very good result, by the way. This is 4X games. They're not that much popular through crowdfunding campaigns. There were maybe two or three, like, you know, big 4X games released through crowdfunding. So you see, we'll see how this one goes. But the most important is that this game is really, really, really cool. You played that game, right? You record a video, by the way. When the video is going to be available?
They're currently editing it. It should. I actually don't know. I'm not sure when it's going to be finished. There's a lot of work to like properly show everything off.
Yeah.
You maybe want to switch the camera?
I wanted to show this.
Oh, okay. Yeah. The game was pretty interesting.
You can talk.
So you can definitely look forward to that. I was set a little bit behind at the beginning. But you know, I managed to make a comeback. But I'm not going to spoil the ending. But yeah, it was an interesting game, definitely.
So in this game, every single faction's got its own unique miniatures and models, and that's one of the faction. This is Nolan faction, and we come up with this process. I mean, for those of you who haven't seen this before, we come up with this new process of actually making sure that you can deliver extremely high quality miniatures, but you can easily remove them from the sprue. You don't need any clippers, you don't need anything. You just basically use your fingers like that, and they just open out easily like this. I'm doing this live, so I hope everything works as it should. But once you finish with that, there is a small pin you have to put in. There's one base and everything else, but every single one's got like a location pin here on the back. It goes like this on a base on the stand, and then you can play the game. So yeah. Why we need to do that? Because of tooling, everything is made in Poland, and this is the way we make models and miniatures. We cannot make models and miniatures in any way. That is reserved for China, and the chemicals they can use. We cannot use those chemicals in Europe whatsoever. So this is how it works. For the bigger models, you will probably have to put together like this. So that should work on a push fit, if I'm not mistaken. Like this. That's it. That's it. And you got your models assembled.
Yep. Very simple.
Death Star. Well, not Death Star, but you know what I mean.
Doomstar.
Doomstar. Pin goes here. You also have a base on the bottom. So that's what it is. That's it. So me talking here, and within that. There's one more token as well, so you get like small faction miniature token on the sprue itself, and it's used for. What is used for?
This is for Unrest.
For Unrest, yeah. We just remove all the models from the game. How easy it is. That's it.
We should play a 6-player Orion game. I think that'd be nice. Next time we meet up at the office.
Yeah. So this technology is well, the solution, manufacturing solution of models is actually very interesting, because this will allow us to make more board games, kind of this type, whether it's going to be fantasy, sci-fi, whatsoever, but it still can provide you with tons of plastic components. Did we finally count the number of miniatures in this game?
Isn't it over 200?
In the core game, in the base game?
I believe so.
Maybe, I think more than that. It's 6 faction times, yeah, maybe like that. So, but then, as we said, every single expansion will have its own unique miniatures and models as well on top of that. So yeah. Porthaven. Let me check for some questions.
Would you consider splitting the boxes in retail for people who have lots of skeletons, for example, but want to only buy the imps? Love your design, by the way. Yeah, I would personally like to see this. I do remember when we were making these sets, I was pushing to have these split, the imps and the skeletons.
Yeah, so the plan was to make it like this one. So this is only goblin. I did that. That was my call, because they asked me the question whether we needed like unique tooling for each of the models. And when the project was actually done, and you know when.
Why are you taking credit?
I'm not taking credit because you asked me to. What was my decision actually?
Okay.
I'm not taking credit. I'm saying I'm taking credit for decision.
Okay.
Because you push on it, you wanted to do that, and I say yeah. So that's the goblin sprue. You will find only a goblins on the sprue, and then you should have like a spider sprue when you're only going to find the spider sprue, and then the spider rider should be on its own individual sprue. Taking credit, eh? I'm not taking credit.
I'm just joking.
I know. Me too.
Hopefully. I'm hoping.
So, what next? Will the ship have these square markings?
I believe they're incredibly subtle, so you won't... I don't think you will be able to even like really see them when you look at it like normally. They're like very hidden, but basically in like... the squares are kind of like made in accordance to how the ship is designed. So I'm not sure how to explain this, but basically whenever you see any like you have the ship here. Wait, let's just go back a slide.
I do have a ship here, yes.
Yeah, so for example, I believe like where you have the stairs, I believe that is one square, the stairs.
So from the top view, it's actually one square.
Not those bottom ones. The top one.
The top ones.
On the right.
These ones.
These ones. I believe that is one square. Okay. To my knowledge, and it's basically more or less split that way.
Yeah.
And you see that that opening for into the inner onto the bottom deck, with the cross thingy.
The crossing,
yeah, I believe that also splits into squares.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it's incredibly subtle. So you won't be able to like obviously notice it, but it'll still be there.
Once we do the pre-painted one, will have like much more. I think we can then play with it and add something during the pre-painting process to make sure that it's much more, visible.
I mean, it doesn't need to be visible. Some people like it this way, where it's like more mixed. You can't immediately tell.
But we can have it both. And then mix and match. The guns, by the way, this is the old render, by the way. This is quite old render. I think lots of things change here for better, especially detail and so on. I know that bit was changed. We needed to change that bit because of the assembly, and the guys actually were sharing today what they have done. So this means it's gonna be on a push fit here. And it's exactly the same square pack you will find in the Dungeons Lasers. Same here, same here. So everything is actually push feed. At least the poles are push feed. So there shouldn't be any problem during assembly. So you can play with, without it, up to you. The guns itself, the bottom deck guns, I will check that one, but I don't think it will really change or move.
I think we did move it up slightly.
Or maybe we did. No, actually, yes. I think we spoke with Sculptor to actually move the windows up. Not the guns itself, but the windows, because the guns, obviously, they are there. But some of the windows were clipping with the guns. But I'll check that one next time with them.
Yeah, because some people are complaining that it's not like seaworthy.
Or that is not actually the
to my knowledge, I believe it's already partially submerged. But that's
the whole idea. It's already partially submerged, and also we did it that way because there is one more level here, which are the ghost, and we already scoped in the ghost, which gonna go on the bottom, and then you will receive, if you're going to buy the ghost ship, you will get this additional ghost on the bottom. So that will be basically lifting the ship itself, and then so that's the idea for that.
Will you use the Master of Orion punch-out sprue thingy for Porthaven's ship or the miniatures, or is that a bad idea because of the glue requirement?
I don't know. We can try it. See how it goes. At the moment, it actually works perfectly on Master of Orion, and we will see. There's a little bit of more play with it and more time to spend on a tooling. So on our side, it's a little bit more expensive engineering wise. For the miniatures, I don't know, because I will be worried that if I going to ship you tiny elements, they might actually fall off the sprue itself. So that will be quite tricky for the miniatures. For terrain, yes. For the terrain, we can use it. Yeah. Especially with the new machines, the new injection machines, we're actually getting into the manufacturing. So yeah. Yeah, that's well, yeah. The Porthaven, that's what you're going to get as a crowdfunding bonus if you're going to sign up to the GameFound page. We already have like 10,000 people sign up, almost 11,000 people sign up for the project. This is probably one of the bigger projects we're probably gonna have here. So yeah, we're also looking forward for this.
But there's still quite a bit of time until the campaign launches.
God, it's 6 months. It's 6 months.
Probably less.
Well,
it's 4. It's 3 or 4.
Well, we plan to do it in April. So April, it's basically...
Is it April final then?
We'll see how fast we can get with the ship. I think, realistically speaking, it's gonna be April. I need to have physical ship. That's what it is. I need a physical ship to be sent out to reviewers. We need to have for the marketing. We need for everything. So it's end of the year. The problem with the end of the year, like everywhere, is like last 2 weeks of December is usually when factories in a shutdown mode, and then first week in January is also short. It's gonna be only 3 working days or something like that because national holidays. So it means we're gonna be probably losing like 5 weeks of work in general. So, but we're probably not gonna be able. And plus, we have so many other tools to be done for other companies, for us, and yeah. So yeah, but I need a ship. That ship needs to be done there for marketing purposes.
In the previous AMA long ago, you said something about not being able to include lights. Due to some EU policies. But will a UV light be included in the Ghost ship? That's the plan, I believe.
That's the plan. We're just looking into that regulations again to see how strong UV light we can actually provide with the ship itself, and in general the engineering solution, because the UV light needs to be cannot go from inside. I know we did like one example when the light was glowing from the inside of the ship itself. Well, the spruce itself, which we assembled. But we need to work something different. The source of the light needs to be from the top. There is another material we are testing, which doesn't require any UV light. Basically, it's a fluorescent material. We'll see how good we can actually make things from the fluorescent material. So maybe instead of doing UV light, we're gonna go for the fluorescent. Yeah. Also, with the have magnet cavities. on the ship level joints. Easy dynamic use. No, we have not engineered any type of magnets for the ship yet. I think we're just gonna leave it for you guys to do that. Yeah, it is complicated. Otherwise, we're gonna have to split into more pieces.
But
which we
one
don't
thing
want.
on this is you won't have to like glue the entire ship together like hard. You will be able to take it mostly apart. What you can see here is what you can take apart basically. So
plus remove the masts.
Yeah, you can remove the mast. You can take apart the deck.
Yeah.
So magnets shouldn't be as necessary.
Yeah.
With
exactly. So you glue that portion. You glue that portion. You glue that portion. That's about. The rest of them is basically not push fit, but place on top.
Yeah,
of it.
Similar to our existing stackable terrain for Woodhaven.
Exactly.
Here we have some concepts.
We have some more concepts. We are having for Porthaven some wood install. Why not? I mean, as you can see, we're looking at the solutions, how to fix things, making sure it's one piece element. More pirates, some dwarves. As you can see, the style of the dwarves also changed. So it's based on your feedback, because some people actually give us a lot of feedback in terms of models, miniatures, what we should do, what we should change. We are listening to you. We have changed the scale right for those ogres, which now actually gonna be fully resculpted because it's not really ogre.
Yeah, so that ogre, there was a lot of discussion about him. He will be changed.
Yeah. So more, I think dwarf, right?
That is a female dwarf, right? Yeah.
Yeah. She doesn't have a beard. Yeah.
It depends on the world, you know. Sometimes,
it was always.
Sometimes they do have beards.
Okay. And some goblins again. Some goblins with the proportion to miniature. By the way, this is like 32mm, right? It's not 28, it's 32. And then Anchor.
Anchor,
I know. I know it's Anchor. Once there was one video which was actually, I was saying Anchor, and Jarek just sent me text message, what's Anchor? I said, oh Jesus, yeah, it's Anchor. It's Anchor. And some other elements like standalone elements, this time around crane, made out of 3 pieces. So we have the core element, and then some coggies and a wheel. So this is what you might also expect. We're trying to make those pieces in the, well, those standalone elements in the less pieces than few. But you can attach to the ship. I mean, I would imagine this one part of your ship, or maybe part of the deck.
It's part of the dock, yeah.
Dock. Yeah.
Used for like getting stuff off the ship or loading it on. I have been thinking about that though. Maybe instead of a hook, there should be just a platform there, like not a platform, but just like a shelf, so you can like put individual terrain pieces on the shelf.
Yeah.
That's just a random idea. The push for outsprue use the same plastic. Yes, it's just a different kind of method of tooling. But yeah, it's still the same plastic. It's still hips. So yeah, still very durable, very detailed, very light. Back to Chronicle X, has Archon worked on an in Poland solution for cardboard tokens or hips alternatives to the counters?
Yeah, I mean, the Chronicle X itself, it's still like, far away from building the full list of changes we want to do it, but this time around the quality will be on par with any other game we have released last year or this year. So yeah, we may expect a lot of improvements.
Yeah, I think Chronicle X definitely deserves it, because there were some issues with the components.
Yeah.
But I think Chronicle X definitely deserves like a reboot, because it's a really cool idea, I think, for a board game.
Yeah. It's gonna be expandable, much bigger into campaigns and everything else. I mean, this is what was, in my personal opinion, what was missing is a huge campaign for that game. Not only standalone missions or whatsoever, but like proper campaign you can play through, like you play in the video games like XCOM, for instance, right? So the whole that ideas and events happening and different type of events causing different type of outcomes, and that outcome then creates another issues, right? In Chronicle X, we streamlined that one to the level of you have just warnings and you have like regions, and every single region being kind of escalating up, and you needed to actually rush to in order to tackle that issue of aliens. Otherwise, it's going to be too strong. This time, I think we need to do much better, much different. Yeah, I think full-fledged campaign and just make it properly. Just make it properly, like the like we always wanted to do. But back then, we were lacking a lot of designers, lacking a lot of time to actually do all the ideas we had for this game and everything else. But this time, I want to make it properly. That's why XD. Okay.
There'll be lips and things holding the ship together then, I guess. But we can always drill holes and add magnets if we really feel like we need them.
Yeah. And again, one more thing, you can get it if you sign up for the project for the Porthaven. So yeah. That's correct. It sits for 2026, but the time flies by. So for me it was just beginning of the year, just a few months ago, and it's actually end of the year now. So this is how fast it goes. That's correct. You can always find some UV LEDs. If we're not going to be able to ship it, you can always find it. But we're looking for some other alternatives. Okay, starter site. I just want to remind you about this project, show you all the things from the previous slideshows. I just left it here. Nothing more has been done except the fixes on some detail on the ships. If I recall correctly, this ship was scoped. I don't have it here, but we're still working on other factions. We're still gonna work on a scale for the ships and everything else. And the rules, actually, the team, I've seen it they play today the game, so the rules being kind of getting more and more polished. In the Invoker itself, just gonna remind you again about where we are in the concept arts. We did actually change this beast. Initially meant to be a cat or meant to be hyena. We changed this one to bull. So mechanical, it's really good concept, by the way. So we spent some time discussion about what we're doing now. It's basically going back to every single miniature and we see what needs to be changed and what exactly we need to update for those miniatures in order to be more aligned with the idea what we want to do. And the team wasn't buying the idea of this one being hyena. And then also our senior sculptors were on a meeting and they said, look, we have to do something else because that hyena either it's going to look funky or it's going to look odd, like either it's a cat or either it's a hyena for the sculpting. So we decided to go for the massive bull, bison, we call it in Poland, and buffalo, you call it in USA, so more like a buffalo. And the concept is there, and they have done it like on Friday, and we decided to go with that. So he will have his own monster to ride on. That model there won't be unchanged whatsoever. This model is perfect, so we're gonna stay with it. We haven't moved for any other models. I know we have a different concept for that model, which I like it more than this, but yeah, we're gonna combining several different concepts together. Yeah, we haven't gone that far with that, but again, I just want to remind you that the Sleipnir is back on the agenda. so many of you ask for it, so finally we will have this miniature. The legs will be made out of clear plastic, like a ghost legs, because otherwise it's going to look kind of odd with 8 legs. So yeah, I really like those things for Invoker. Yeah. So Invoker. Stay tuned on more info about the Invoker. Yeah, some alternative concepts for the ones who have seen it. Some additional concept made by the different artists just to show some other equipment we can put on the miniatures. That's the same concept we have above with slightly better arms, I believe. So those arms, this is kind of, well, won't be talking much about it, but this is kind of, it's a full story there. I will have to spend some time explaining the full story to explain what is that, on top of that. It's going to be backpack there, those arms connected to the backpack. This is made by the guild, by the Invoker guild. This is kind of the additional fighting equipment, and the troops will have it, and then some invokers will have it, and so on, so on, so on. In case of this miniature, this is Relic, so she will have her own unique gloves, and so on, so on. It's a kind of self-aware, but driven by the Invoker. But I won't be spoiling too much story, but yeah, there's a twist in there. But yeah, that's what it is for the Invoker. And this is for where? For next year, for the third quarter next year.
Yep.
I'm really excited for this game. We had a meeting this Saturday, so we have visitors from Poznan, from Second Era. It's called Second Era, I think Second Era, right?
I don't know. It's my first time hearing this.
Yeah. They were here playing the game, playing our games, playing Invoker as well, and they're also excited for that one. So
is that like a YouTube channel? Or?
No, the guys from club. There's a club, a gaming club in Poznan. So they came to visit factory just to see how the plastic factory works, and then on top of that, I gave them the small tour, showed them bits and bobs, and then they had some time to. Yeah, see here, he was here.
Oh.
Yeah.
Good to hear.
Yeah, so that's that for Invoker. You still think we should drop the ice in there?
Yeah, I still think it looks like an error. From like this. Like I'm looking at the OBS here, and it's like I can just barely even see it.
Yeah, we will do that. Okay, guys, we've got to finish. That's gonna be all for today. So what next? Next is you flying to States, right?
It seems like it, yeah.
Yeah, Agatha said you have to fly. At least if you bounce back, you will come back alone because of your passport issue.
Yeah.
So we're gonna be in States on a PAX Unplugged. Not we, like a full team. Only a couple of us gonna be. And what was the name of stand? It's E28, if I remember correctly. It's E28 stand.
Possibly, yeah. Zulu's Gaming Cafe.
Zulu Gaming's Cafe, yeah. So if you want to have a chat with our team or with Shimon or play our games, definitely we're gonna have the, I think, Battleground and Heroes and Orion. So both games will be there. Some of our staff will be there, so you can join the team. I'm gonna be in January in Germany because the Nuremberg Toys Fair, so that's for me to cover. What else is happening towards the end of the year? There's gonna be one more AMA, I think, in a couple of weeks. I don't think there's gonna be AMA before Christmas. Maybe the last week, the next AMA will be the last one. I will check the calendar. If we manage to squeeze in one more AMA, we will do it. Probably myself then alone, or maybe I will get somebody. I will see. We will see. Yeah, so that's that. Don't forget about the Black Friday thingy on our page. So
yeah, big sale on our website.
Yeah, exactly. So that's it. So thank you again.
Yeah, thank you for joining us.
And I will definitely see you in 2 weeks' time.
Bye.